We're not sugarcoating here, baby. This is Troy Talks a Lot, and we're just getting straight into it, okay? Again, I told you this is not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, because love is blinding. I'm not blinded by the love that you're in right now, so that's why I'm able to give it to you straight, because I have no feelings towards that person. Right? Merch is available in the description down below. Go get yours now before they're all gone. They make perfect Christmas gifts. And honestly, if you're watching this right now, all you got to do is like this video, comment 5 times down below, and I'll choose one person to send a hat to on me. Love you guys. Let's get in the episode. Don't text him back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Troy Talks a Lot. Hello. Yes, I'm alive. I'm doing well. I know I haven't been filming for about a week and a half, maybe coming up on 2 weeks. Just, we got holidays coming up. I've been Christmas shopping. I was sick for like 2-3 days. So I kind of took a little time to myself. I'm back. I promise I'm better than ever. We're not going anywhere. I apologize for the hiatus, but here we are, ladies and gents, season 3, episode, whatever we're on. I don't even know if I'm going to keep track anymore just because we're so deep in it. I had some girls DMing me about their boy drama. Again, I always say I'm not a therapist. I'm not a love guru. I just say it how it is. I don't know. I think everyone has it in them. I'm not really telling you anything that's revolutionary. However, sometimes love can make you blind. And I am not in love with that person, so therefore I am not blind, and I could kind of help people see it for what it is. I don't know if that makes sense. I think it does. Anyways, I had this girl texting me about how she broke up with her boyfriend and how she needs help, and do I text him? Do I not? Do I call him? Do I block him? Whatever, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, stop right there. Let me help you. So, if you're going through it right now, if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through a situationship that you don't really know how to end or want to end, if you're just kind of going through it and you're just like, do I text him? Do I not? I'm just going to sum it up real quick. One word. Don't. Don't. There is no point. If you are already asking yourself whether or not you need to be texting him to potentially win him over, or if he's like, hey, I want to take a break, and you a week later are like, should I text him? Don't. Texting this guy who has already made up his mind is not going to help change his mind. I just want to let you know that right now. If he's like, hey, I want some space, you give him space. If he wants to break up, you let him break up. If you're talking with someone, flirting with someone, and then they just go ghost, and you're thinking, should I text them? No. Texting someone is not going to change their mind. Calling someone is not going to change their mind. If anything, texting or calling them, nagging on them, being on them 24/7 is honestly going to push them further and further away from you. So the best thing that you could do for them and for you, mentally and physically, is to give them and you space. You let them do them and realize that there's nobody better than you. And once they fail to find someone to replace you, guess who'll be coming and knocking at your door? Constantly staying on someone, and when I say staying, I mean texting, calling, DMing, emailing, whatever it is that people do these days, is kind of like having a mosquito bite. The more you scratch it, the itchier it gets. The less you scratch it, the quicker it goes away. The quicker you forget and you heal from the mosquito bite. If you're sitting there and just scratching it 24/7, you're eventually going to turn it into a scab. You're eventually going to turn it into a scar. And I don't think you really want that. This is all an analogy. The scar is just a hurt, like a long-lasting hurt that is very hard to recoup from. Whereas a mosquito bite, if you stay poised and calm and collected and you say, hey, you know what? I know it's itchy right now, but I know if I don't itch it, or if I don't even think about it for a little bit of time, it'll eventually start to, the swelling will eventually start to go down. And then before you know it, poof, it's gone, out of sight, out of mind. Think about texting that person as the same idea as the mosquito bite. The more you think about it, the more that you want to itch it, the more you end up itching it, just the bigger of an issue it's going to be. The less you think about it, the more you stay focused and say, you know what, I know that it's itchy right now, but in a couple of hours from now, the whole swelling is going to go down. In a couple of days, it's going to be gone. I'm not saying you're going to get over that person in a couple of days. Again, this is a complete analogy. However, the more you stay focused, the more you stay poised, the quicker you will begin to heal. Texting that person is not going to change them. I've been on both sides, okay? I've been the guy where I'm like, okay, I'm not really into this chick anymore, and she texts me more and more and more and more, and what did it do? It just pushed me further and further away. I was like, bro, I wasn't super into you then. This behavior just makes it very not appealing. It honestly makes people look at you a little differently, because now you just turn desperate, and people can smell desperation from a mile away. Like, it's just not hot. It's not cute. You're now losing like your ego and pride and your bad bitch like kind of flavor, because you're like, oh please, like, why can't you talk to me? Why can't we hang out? Like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And eventually you're just like, bro, just like go find someone else. Like, stay the fuck away from me. Like, that's literally what it turns into when you have people like nagging. Again, it's just like the mosquito bite. The more you itch it, the more it just turns red and starts to pus and scab. It just turns gross. Like, the whole situation just turns gross. So the more you're on someone, you're like, well, can't we just talk? Like, let's talk about it. Talk about what? Talk about how he's out there just hooking up with someone else, DMing other people, like trying to go on dates with other girls. Like, is that what you want to hear? A lot of people love to self-sabotage when it comes to breakups, because they're like, oh, I just want to talk to you. Like, I just want to get closure. You already have closure, babe. Like, you guys aren't talking anymore. Like, you are separated for a reason. So there's no point in going out and trying to talk to someone to kind of recoup or regain a relationship, when what you should be thinking is, okay, he's out there already talking to A, B, and C. Now it's my turn to prioritize myself and go do what I want to do and go talk to other people. Like, you going and sitting in a car and talking for 2-3 hours because you need closure is not going to end well. You know how it's going to end? It's going to end with you guys in the back seat making a decision that you're going to regret an hour from then. That's what's going to happen. You're going to go home, you're going to feel used, and now he's going to go do the same exact thing that he was doing an hour prior to meeting up with him. It's a lose-lose situation. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I just need to go talk to get closure. You don't need closure, okay? You don't need to text him to meet up with him, to talk for an hour or two, when we already know it's not even going to be talking. It's just going to be you guys fucking with the same shitty sex that you guys have had for the past however long, because none of you guys are into it. And then you guys are off to the same exact place that you started prior to the meetup. So if you're sitting here asking, should I text him? No. Okay, and again, this doesn't go with just relationships. That's just for the people that are in relationships or were in a relationship that now had just broken up. Let's go with those that are in a situationship, or in those that have been talking to someone on and off for a couple weeks or possibly months, and now they just aren't really, responding like they once were. Do you need to check in on them 24/7? Do you need to hit them up when they don't respond? Do you need to triple text them? No. I think the secret is in the pudding. The recipe is in the pudding, whatever they say. Again, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I'm just telling you something that you need to hear, because you were blinded by love or lust. Don't triple text them. Don't text them if they're being dry, because that's just going to make you seem desperate as well. Don't DM them if they haven't been texting you, but they post a story. There's no point. There's no point in even viewing their story. If I'm talking to someone and then all of a sudden they just kind of go ghost, and it's been a couple of weeks, I just unfollow them, because there's no point. What do we have here? I just did this literally a couple weeks ago. I was talking with a girl for a little bit. We went out, had a great time. I tried to get together with her a couple more times, just didn't end up working out. And then eventually she stopped responding to my texts. What did I do? I unfollowed her on Instagram, because what is the point? Where are we going to go with this? She obviously found somebody else. I think I heard through the grapevine that she got a boyfriend. Good for her. I'm happy for her. There's no bad energy towards her. Just, that's how it works. It just didn't work out. I'm just going to unfollow her, because there's no point. There's no point in following someone that I met once. And now I'm going to sit and wait around for her to possibly break up with her boyfriend. One, I don't wish her to break up with that guy. I hope that that's the one. And two, if it's not, what I want to get the sloppy seconds. I want to get the scraps after she chose someone over me. Come on, let's have a little self-respect. We're better than that. You are better than that. Okay. So if you're talking to someone and things are going well for, a week or two, or maybe even a month, but eventually the conversation starts to dry, and maybe you guys aren't meeting up in person as much as you wanted, or at all, what's the point? Why are we trying to force something that's just not going to happen naturally? Why do you want to force anything? That's like trying to force someone to love you. I'm sure that there's somebody, a guy that's like in love with you, like shooting a shot every day, like constantly texting you, constantly DMing you, sending you flowers or sending you gifts, which I know not many people do. So if honestly someone does that, you should give them time of day. But let's just think about, that guy that goes above and beyond to get your attention, but you just find it so unappealing and unattractive because you're like, bro, you're just trying too hard. Flip the script. That's what you are to that person. That's exactly what you are to that person. So if you're over here just trying too hard to win someone over, to force someone to like you, to force someone to love you, you're already losing. You're already losing your self-respect. And again, the desperation can be smelled from a mile away. Like that's just like guys can smell it, girls can smell it. We all can, okay? Girls can smell a guy who tries too hard to win them over and act like someone that he's not in order to impress you. You're just like, ew, that is such a turn off. Vice versa. Guys can smell when a girl is like all over them and trying to use like her sexual appeal or try to just do too much and act funny or humorous or sexy or whatever it may be to get this guy's attention, when the guy's probably like, ew, dude, like honestly, he's probably like, what a slut, just because you're like over there just trying to over sexualize yourself because you think, oh, since guys want sex, I'm just gonna, move with my tits in his face. Like, no, that is not what we want. We don't want just girls like throwing themselves at us, because I guess I shouldn't speak for everyone, because there are some pigs out there that are like, just will fuck anything that walks. But the respectful guys, a guy that you actually want, which I'm assuming are the guys that you're talking to, I hope that those are the ones you're talking to. There's just no point in trying to force someone to like you if they don't. It's just not going to happen. So again, going back to the whole texting thing, if you are sitting here wondering, this guy hasn't responded for a couple of days, or the conversation is dry, or we never ended up meeting in person, should I text him? No. If you're sitting here and just being like, oh, my boyfriend just broke up with me, or my girlfriend just broke up with me, or my situationship said they wanted space, should I text them for clarity? Should I text them to check in on them? Should I text them for whatever God knows reason you want to text them? Because let's be honest, you only want to text them to meet up with them in hopes that you'll win them over. You're not going to win them over, okay? They're already talking to Sarah and Betty and Melanie and Clarissa. I don't know. They're just talking to people right now. So if that's what you have to hear, and to mentally switch off your feelings for that person, which I know is not going to just happen like this, okay? It's a cycle. It takes time. But if that's like what you need to start the process of, hey, you know what? That's not the only person out there in the world for me, then that's what you need to hear, okay? That's what you need to hear. I'm sorry for giving it to you harsh or too straightforward, but like, we're not sugarcoating here, baby. This is Troy Talks a Lot, and we're just getting straight into it, okay? Again, I told you this is not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, because love is blinding. I'm not blinded by the love that you're in right now, or the lust that you're in. So that's why I'm able to give it to you straight, because I have no feelings towards that person right now. I hope that was helpful. I don't even know how I came up with that analogy of the mosquito bite, but it makes perfect sense. Again, think of the person as the mosquito bite. If you want to irritate them, if you want to turn it into a scab and this whole relationship into like an everlasting scar, continue to scratch it. Continue to scratch it, because it's not going to help. It's not going to fix it. It's not going to get you anywhere. If you want it to heal, you leave it, you give it a rest. Even though it hurts, even though it itches sometimes and it bugs the hell out of you, you have to stay poised. You have to stay calm and collected. You have to have some self-respect and say, I know that it itches right now. I know that it hurts right now. But instead of going like this, I'm going to let it sit so that you know, okay, I can't be itching it. And eventually it'll begin to heal. It won't take a minute. It won't take 5. It won't even take an hour. Okay, but maybe a day or 2 or 3, and poof, it's all gone. There's not a scar from you constantly itching it and just turning it into a absolute bloodbath running down your leg. Okay, great analogy. I don't even know how the fuck I came up with that, but God, sometimes I just say stuff and I'm like, that was genius. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening to another episode of Troy Talks a Lot. This is episode whatever, I don't even know. I would get in your questions, however, I got a new phone the other day, so I'm not like in my new emails. I have to do all that bullshit, which I'm absolutely dreading. But I love you guys so much. Merch is available in the description down below. So go get it before Christmas. I promise they make perfect Christmas gifts. I love you lots. And until next time, I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.